resolve the issue of oxygen concentration in the hydrogen tail surface mass. It appears that this will not be a problem for today's test, and that the earlier readings of 21% concentration was a misreading. It should have been 2.1%. The oxygen levels in the tail surface mass will be monitored along with the concentrations of hydrogen, and if at any point the ratios become out of specifications, then we will stop and evaluate the situation. However, we do have a gaseous nitrogen purge in that tail service mast to inert the tail service mast, and we'll keep a close eye on that during the tanking operation. We have given a go for the chill down operations, and we're standing by to begin our loading process. Team is on station here in firing rooms 1 and 2, ready to load the external tank. We should be in chill down operations approximately 10 minutes before we go into slow fill with liquid hydrogen. We'll stay in the slow fill mode for about 20 to 30 minutes, and then the loading sequence will transition to a fast fill operation. That time we will begin working very closely using all of the available engineering aids, including the cameras and instrumentation, to evaluate the aft compartment. We will bring you updates during the tanking operation as it becomes available, and standing by to begin our chill down operations. This is Shuttle Control. This is Shuttle Control. We have started chill down operations for Columbia's main propulsion system and all the associated lines used in loading liquid hydrogen on board the shuttle and eventually into the external tank. Operations are proceeding on schedule and smooth since we did start the chill down, which was just a few moments ago. For today's test, the rotating service structure was moved back away from the vehicle. That occurred about 3:15 a.m. this morning. Prior to that, the orbiter's aft compartment was closed out for the test. On the doors of the aft compartment, some specially made doors are installed for today's test. These doors are made of a plexiglass-type material called Lexan. It is quite a bit stronger than plexiglass material itself. And we do have specially mounted tubes running through the doors. These tubes are sampling the environment back in the aft compartment and giving that information back to officials here in the firing room. Again, only liquid hydrogen will be loaded into the orbiter's main propulsion system and into the tank. There are no test plans for loading liquid oxygen into the orbiter for today's test. Call to stations for this tanking test began at 7 a.m. yesterday, and chill down did start right about 12:25 or so this afternoon. We needed a little bit extra time overnight to finish closing out the orbiter's aft compartment. Again, this is one of the most highly instrumented tanking tests we've conducted at Kennedy Space Center in an effort to find any leakage in the liquid hydrogen system. We'll be showing you various views from the main propulsion system. There are about 10 cameras mounted back in Columbia's aft compartment to give officials a very good look at any leakage should it occur. This is also the first time that the aft compartment will be monitored this closely during a tanking operation, and it's the first time we will have any visibility into the aft and that environment during the tanking operation. We should be in chill down operations just another few minutes, and then we will transition to the slow fill mode. All the while we will be monitoring, of course, all the instrumentation and concentration levels in Columbia's aft compartment. We'll bring you that information as it becomes available. This is Shuttle Control. This is Shuttle Control. We're currently in the chill down of the main propulsion system in our tanking test for the Space Shuttle Columbia. There are about 17 different hydrogen leak detectors and several flow meters in the aft compartment. We've got thermocouples used that will be used to detect leakage downstream of valves. This information will be fed back in real time to engineers and test conductors involved in the test here in flying rooms 1 and 2. This will be the second tanking test for Columbia since the first launch attempt on May 29th, when high concentrations of hydrogen were detected near the 17-inch disconnect and in the aft compartment. After the first tanking test in June, officials have decided to replace the 17-inch disconnect assemblies on both the orbiter Columbia and its external tank. Columbia was rolled back to the vehicle assembly building on June 11th, demated from the external tank and transferred to the orbiter processing facility. A new disconnect from the shuttle Endeavour was installed on Columbia, and the orbiter and tank were remated. Columbia was rolled out to pad 39A on August 9th for launch. Launch was scrubbed on the 30th of August to allow the replacement of an electronic box for the broadband X-ray telescope. Launch was scrubbed again September 5th because of higher than allowable concentrations of hydrogen in the aft compartment. Another attempted launch occurred on September 17th, but again hydrogen was detected in the aft compartment. A board was appointed to find the cause of the leak, and at the board's direction, several main propulsion system seals were replaced. Many leak tests have been performed and various joints have been retorqued. In addition, the team has made a thorough analysis of data collected from the tanking tests and reviewed all work performed on the orbiter since the last flight earlier this year. STS-35 was moved from pad 39A to pad 39B on October 8th, following the successful launch of the Discovery on mission STS-41. The next day, Columbia was transferred back to the vehicle assembly building because of adverse weather, which prevented productive work in the aft compartment. On October 14th, the vehicle was rolled out to pad 39B, where extensive work to find the source of the leak has been ongoing leading up to today's test. Fast fill and replenish operations. Our tanking test for the shuttle Columbia, it is estimated we've only seen a total of about 100 parts per million in the aft during the total test, and this is a good correlation because it represents the environment during a normal tanking operation. Managers and officials are happy with the results we've seen so far in the test, and again, the concentration levels of hydrogen in the aft are looking at about 100 parts per million, and this is representative of a normal tanking configuration. So at this point in the test, officials do appear to be pleased with the results so far. We will continue on with our tanking operations, and going into the replenish mode. We will be going into drain operations as soon as the tank is full, and at some point during the tanking operations today, the method of injecting carbon dioxide into the aft will be demonstrated just to test out the system and see if that produces any unusual results. We do have a tanker of carbon dioxide down in the flame trench area. This is to be used in case we wanted to detect any kind of a leak in the aft. The idea was to inject it into the aft, and that would make the leak appear and manifest itself in the form of a vapor versus any kind of a liquid drop.